Pesachim Daf Kuf. Today's amazing email comes from Ben K, a 9th grader, and he writes, Rabbi Stefansky, you're the reason I started the Daf. Each evening I see my father at the dining room table bent over his Gemara and learning from your YouTube shir. When my father made a see him at home on Masechet Seruv, and I decided that I wanted to be part of this too. Although I'm a 9th grader who just started yeshiva, I use whatever free time I have to take out my Gemara and learn the Daf from your shir. Amazing. I'm on track with Masechet Pesachim, but since I started late, I'm really far behind with other Masechets I missed from the beginning of this cycle. I try to catch up by learning Masechet Brachos whenever I can, with you as well, etc., etc. I really enjoy learning the Daf each day, and you make it possible. Thank you so much for helping me start this special journey. I hope to be able to finish Shas with you. From Yomin K, you should have tremendous hatzlacha. Really looking forward to meeting you, Be'ez Hashem, at one of the siyumim. Daf Kuf. Brisa says that on Erev Shabbos and Yontif, according to Rabbi Yehuda, one should not eat a meal from 9 hours into the day. In other words, 3 hours before Shkia. And according to Rabbi Yosi, a person is permitted to eat all the way until it becomes dark. The shot in the Brisa is not 9.5 hours, it's 9 hours. And a raya is because Mereimar said, I saw that they told Reb Pinchas bar Ami 3 hours before Shkia, not 2.5 hours before Shkia. And he agreed. Now, Erev Pesach, everybody agrees that you can't start 9 hours into the day, 3 hours before Shkia. The machlokes is whether or not you have to stop a meal once you start the meal. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda when it comes to Erev Pesach, you have to stop. If you started, you have to stop. In other words, take the table out, Birkas Hamazon, full stop. According to Rabbi Yosi, you don't have to. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. On Erev Shabbos, the halacha is like Rabbi Yosi, that you don't have to stop the meal, you can continue on into Shabbos. The Gemara tells us a Maisa. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yosi were together on the way, and it became Shabbos. The middle of eating became Shabbos. Says Rabbi Shimon Gamliel to Rabbi Yosi, should we stop, do a hard stop, in order to give some kavod to Rabbi Yehuda? Says Rabbi Yosi to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, every day you say over what I tell you to Rabbi Yehuda and tell him how great it is, and now all of a sudden you want to make Rabbi Yehuda chashav. Hagam lichvash es hamalka imei v'abai is a pasuk from Megillas Esther. You want to capture the queen right in front of me. So therefore, do not stop, so that the Talmidim don't think that that's the halacha that he's supposed to stop. And the Gemara says, Leizazu, they didn't move from there until they established the halacha is like Rabbi Yosi, you don't have to stop going into Shabbos. Says Shmuel, although the halacha is like Rabbi Yosi, I prefer to be machmer and do something called Poiris Mappa. And that is, you don't have to remove the table completely, but you put a tablecloth over the food, and you bench, and you make Kiddush. Shmuel says that just like you stop for Kiddush, you're supposed to stop for Havdalah. In other words, if you have a long Shal Shudas, you're supposed to stop in the middle and make Havdalah. But when he says stop, he doesn't mean stop to the point where you take out the table and make Birkas Hamazon. What he means is, Poiris Mappa, you put a tablecloth over, not a real hefsek. L'chadchila, a person should make Kiddush, and only afterwards they bring the table to him. In those times they had small tables, and nowadays bring out the food. But what if the food is already there? It's not such kavod Shabbos. What do? You Poiris Mappa. You put a tablecloth over, you cover the food, you cover the challah, and then you make Kiddush. According to everybody, says the Gemara, you don't start a meal Erev Pesach 3 hours before Shkia. Everybody agrees that more than 3 hours before Shkia, you're permitted to start. And on Erev Shabbos, when it's within 3 hours of Shkia, that's where you have the machlokes, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yosi. Have a wonderful day.